We're keyed up. We're ready to go. This is the sixth session of FFA Day on KSMO. I'm Bob Parsons, be moderator for this, as I have for each day, each section. I've got with me 5 young men. This is totally a young men's group, and they're all veterans of ag education, so we're going to have lots of information we'll share with you. Before we get to the question and answer session, I've asked Ray if he would read just a portion of the sponsors. We have over 50 sponsors of FFA Day on KSMO in Dent County and Salem, and we want to recognize just a portion of them. Ray?
Roberts Judson Lumber Company, District 1 Commissioner Wes Kendra Mowbray and family, District 2 Commissioner Gary and Denise Polk, Presiding Commissioner Gary Larson and Shirley, State Representative Ron Copeland and family, Daryl and Maureen Skiles, The Rusty Pig, Flying W Boutique, Looking Glass Salon.
All right, thank you, Ray. And like we said, we get to the end of our time on the air, we'll share that list again. Gentlemen, the first thing I'd like to do, I'd like to have you introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your background, if you want to tell who your family is, if you think they might recognize you, that'd be fine. If you think they might not be your friends, well, if you don't leave them out, that's entirely up to you. Grant, you may not want to mention who all your family is, but yeah, you will. I'm kidding, and I've always got to kid somebody, and Grant got picked on this time. So if you would, I'll shut up and have you just start. Doesn't matter what order, just whoever feels like going first. Just tell folks your name, you're in school, a little information about yourself so they have a better idea of who you are.
I'll go ahead and start. My name's Ray Cunningham. I'm the president of the Salem FFA chapter this year. I've lived in Salem on my family's beef enterprise all my life. We kind of run around 600 annual stalker calves, around also developing bulls for New Day Genetics, and host a sale at our house twice a year. Alongside of that, I have my own personal herd of registered cows that I breed, I AI breed, and just calve them out and take care of them. I also do a lot of grass management, beef cattle management. I show in the summertime. I weld and build fence a lot, so just all the characteristics that you do on a farm, I pretty much do them.
All right, there's Ray Cunningham. Good job, Ray. Who wants to go next? Somebody says, I don't want to go next after Ray's long spiel. And that's fine, Ray. I'm not being critical. I hope you don't take it that way. So who's next?
I'll go ahead and go next.
Grant, go ahead.
My name's Grant Case. I'm the son of Mark and Julie Case. I have my own herd of a few cows on our family farm where we run on about 800 acres, run about 100 head of cows. I got a couple SAEs, and my main SAE is beef cattle production and swine production. I raise a pig for the expo in the summer, and then I have a wildlife management entrepreneurship SAE where I predator trap and sell the fur, and I'm actually selling fur tomorrow at a fur auction in Montgomery City. And That'll be my first time going up there, and that's about it.
Okay.
My name's Casey Chapman. I'm the secretary this year of the FFA chapter. My parents are Bob and Kelly Chapman. My SAE consists of beef cattle production, and I've got a set of registered Red Angus cows, and I also help on our family farm with about anything, and that's it.
All right, Casey. Very good. Ben?
My name's Ben Snyder, son of Brandon and Carrie Snyder. I work on our family farm, and my main SAE is working at Roberts Judson.
Okay. Very good. Gunner?
I'm Gunnar Maheron. My parents is Katie and Will Maheron. My main SAE is I do placement work at Moser's Pharmacy across the parking lot here, and I also do a lot of farm work on our little farm we got outside town.
Yep. Down on B Highway, right?
Yes, sir.
Just behind mine.
Is it?
Yeah, well, kind of behind mine. Mine's over on N and 5440. So.
That's close enough.
Yeah, it is. We'll call it neighbors. We'll call it neighbors. All right, now these guys went ahead and told you one of my questions, answered one of my questions, which is fine. They also told you what they have as their supervised agriculture experience, and I appreciate that very much, that we don't even have to ask that question. They got it taken care of. But I will ask some more questions. I've got several of them here, and these guys will do a good job with them. Why did you decide to enroll in ag education? We're looking at juniors and seniors here, and so we have to go back a good ways on them to remember why they enrolled in ag education.
I think the beginning, like I stated before, I was raised on my family's beef enterprise, so I've been surrounded around agriculture all my life.
Just keep
Ever
going,
since
don't
I was a
worry about the
kid,
tough
and I enjoy it. I love what I do, and just want to kind of keep on doing that. And I think 4-H and showing calves whenever I was a kid really helped push my interest in FFA and ag education, and yeah.
And you brought up a thing that I really haven't talked about it all day, and that is the fact that it's really neat how lots of times 4-H involvement does feed students into FFA involvement. They are good companions. It's just 4-H is for a little younger, and then we progress. We get it in the high school years, and it seems like the natural progression is to move over into the FFA and be involved in it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You know, kind of going along with what Ray said, growing up on the farm and being in 4-H as a kid, when I got into high school, you know, I had to do something, and FFA was just there and had all the bells and whistles. You know, ag education was just the thing that a farm kid like me needed in school.
Mm-hmm.
Helped me, you know, I've learned lots and met lots of great people, and it's helped me get through school too, having that time of the day, you know, hands-on stuff, just getting you away from all that computers and all that doesn't really spark out to everybody.
Good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. You betcha. All right. Who's next? Casey?
I chose to be in FFA because I'd always heard that it was a very good program to be in, and kind of gives you a little bit of an easier hour of the day with not as much stress in your class, and it helps you learn more about agricultural and other things part of it. And
Okay.
I just figured doing stuff on our family farm, it kind of fit into that, and since all my siblings did it, I figured it'd be a good fit.
All right.
I kind of just did it because my dad did like 4 hours of it in high school, and he always talked about how it was the best time of his day. So I was like, why not? I'll try and join him with it.
Yeah, this group of 5, I had 3 of their dads in ag. Then I go back many, many years with Casey's dad, Bob Chapman, as we were both involved in agriculture education for years. Bob as a teacher and then as a state supervisor. And then even Ray, when I start thinking about Ray Cunningham, I go back to the day I was working in an ag shop and somebody showed up at the back of the shop with this prospective livestock specialist for Dent County, and it was Ray's dad, Ted. So we go back a long ways with all 5 of these young men. probably as much background with you guys and your families as any group I've had today. And I do appreciate that. You may not. You may not be at that age yet to appreciate it. I imagine some of your parents will. So you can, Gunner, you get home, you can ask Dad, Dad, you got any stories about being an ag? And if he hasn't already told them to you, he might come up with another one he hasn't told you. I don't know. But I remember each of your dads being involved in ag education and FFA. All right. What's been your favorite part of ag education and FFA?
Just as a overall part of the FFA, I think just meeting new people and going after new opportunities that are presented to me. I think that's always a thriller in my education and just when it is presented, taking that opportunity to go and seize it.
Good. It's interesting you mentioned taking advantage of that opportunity. The last group was all first-year students. I tried to make sure and emphasize with them, don't pass up opportunities. I think only one of the 5 was going to be involved in a contest team. And, you get to the point you pass up those opportunities, you can't go back and do them over again. So, and I know this group of guys, they've been involved in a lot of different things as a group. So, all right, who's next? Favorite activity?
So, I've had a lot of activities I would say is my favorite, but I really like doing like beef days, and we do the same Ag Ed on the Move, working with the little kids and teaching them about agriculture. They, sometimes they don't understand, but a lot of times they get interested and they want to know more. But recently, me, Ray, and Casey, we've had the opportunity to go to Lake of the Ozarks to the Young Farmers and Ranchers Convention, and I learned a lot at that, and I had a lot of fun doing that kind of thing. So we have lots of opportunities, like you said, and we just, you never want to pass them up because there's lots of things you can learn that you might miss.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Other favorites?
My favorite would probably be going to Fancy Feed Out in Columbia with the university and getting to learn more about upcoming beef trends in it and how they pick the best feeding cattle and getting how to see how they are on paper and how they look, and also probably doing CDEs.
Okay, good. Variety of things.
My favorite's probably got to be doing contest teams, getting to meet new people and try a lot of new things.
Okay, good. I'm going to ask questions about contest teams shortly.
Yeah, my favorite was probably the contest teams as well. But I always really liked the just kind of the spur of the moment field trips you get to go on, going wherever. I mean, we've set up all sorts of events we've got going through town. We went to Springfield for, I don't even remember what exactly it was, one time, and we ate out there and we just had a grand old time. It's just getting to go places and have fun together.
Okay. Excellent points, guys. Speaking of the career development events, the contest teams, what ones have you been involved in the past, and what are you involved in now?
So last year, me, Ray, and Casey, we were all agronomy, and we went to state for that, and I learned a lot from that, and seeds and grass diseases and different grasses and things like that. And before that, I did dairy foods, and this year I plan on doing ag mechanics and forestry.
Okay.
I did beef cattle judging my freshman year, and my sophomore year I did ag mechanics and agronomy, and this year I plan to do forestry.
Very good.
My freshman year, I was involved in dairy cattle judging, and then, as Grant and Casey both said, we were on the state team to go to a agronomy contest, and then this year I plan to do ag mechanics.
Last year was my first year doing it.
Mhm.
I did dairy foods, which was pretty good, and this year I plan on doing ag mechanics.
I got you. Dairy foods is kind of a odd, different kind of contest.
It is.
I always heard if you like milk, it wasn't a good contest for you. So,
My freshman year, I did the dairy cattle with Raymond, and I didn't do anything my sophomore year, but this year I'm going to be doing the forestry with Casey and Grant as well.
Okay. Very active group of young men here with these five, and I'm glad to see that. You know, they're not passing up opportunities like we've already talked about. Don't pass up the opportunities, and obviously this group has not. One of the things I always ask is about the supervised agriculture experience, but these guys really already answered that in their introductions. They told you what they're doing as their SAEs. I will back up to one question I skipped over earlier up here, and that is, what have you found to be the most challenging or difficult part of ag education or FFA? What have you, I usually ask that towards the beginning, but I didn't miss it this time, so we'll deal with it. What did you find to be the most challenging, most difficult?
For any sort of speaking contest where you're not allowed to have a piece of paper in front of you and you got to kind of memorize answers or memorize a speech or whatnot, that's always kind of been a difficulty for me to overcome. Just memorizing a certain word or phrase that I have to remember, but you know, you learn how to repetize that and really figure it out.
Any of those CDEs, contest teams that require oral reasons, really put that particular skill
Yes, sir.
to a test and requires a lot of work to prepare for it. Go ahead. Somebody else, what have you found to be difficult?
I gotta say it was the speaking in front of people for me, because I've never really liked talking that much, and it's always been, everything was, you got to give your reasons for why you place these cows in this certain order.
Mm-hmm.
And that was definitely my biggest challenge, was figuring out how to do that.
And you go clear back to Ag 1 when you had to present the creed, and that was your first hurdle to jump over in terms of
Yeah.
trying to get past that difficulty in speaking in front of a group. All right, someone else.
I would say like oral reasons on judging and memorizing phrases and answers, and probably catching up on homework from other classes.
Because you were gone on an
yeah,
FFA trip.
That is a
Good point, Casey.
I think that's all around.
But that's, you know, you bring that up, and that's the first time today anybody's mentioned that. Again, I think is a good part of the training and development of students in ag education FFA. You know, just because you're gone a day to a contest or a field trip doesn't excuse you from doing that necessary work in your other classes, which all work together to contribute to your total education. So it's vitally important. You guys that have had parents that have stayed on you about that, made sure you got those homework assignments done that you missed out on those days you're gone. Someday you'll appreciate those, even though you might not really to this point yet. But that is a difficult aspect of being an ag education FFA. All right.
You know, like Casey said, gaining that responsibility to get that extra work done. And then also, I've never really had a problem talking, as most of y'all know. But one thing for me was probably the officer interviews. Probably helped me, probably helped me in the future of any interview I have to do. The first time it was really nerve-wracking because, you know I can talk, but I didn't know how to start it off because I'm used to starting a conversation, you know, but it's really helped me with that. And last year I didn't really have a problem with it. You know, it was just kind of rolled right through it.
Went on up a level in your ability
Yep.
when it came to speaking in front of a group. Yeah. Okay.
The most difficult part for me was probably learning to keep everything down on the record books. Having to learn to keep track of that stuff.
And that comes up with about every group as
Yeah.
one of the most difficult things. You guys, students share in that difficulty. Obviously, it's you don't have the market cornered on it, Ben. Okay. Anything else? Okay. We're working. This is such a good group. They just fire these answers out, and they're working through my questions pretty doggone fast. I may have to take them back to school early. I don't know how this is going to work out. Let's talk about your future plans. Now, correct me, and I didn't pay as much attention as I should. We don't have any seniors, right? We do, Ben. Okay, so Ben, you in particular, this question is going to get pretty close to home because the end of your high school education's getting pretty close. What are your future plans? That's what I'd like folks to have an idea. And for the juniors, actually, your future plans in terms of even yet in high school, what you have planned. What are we looking at as plans for the future?
Right now, I'm enrolled in a state tech in Lynn for heavy equipment operating and land surveying.
Okay, good. And that's about every class, or not class, but every group I've had today, except maybe the group of first-year students. State Tech has come up as one of the career goals, some discipline at State Tech. And it is a tremendous opportunity, and it's an excellent school. Excellent school. Okay. Others of you, what are your future plans?
So I would like to continue on and go to college. I'd like to go to College of the Ozarks. First, I have to get accepted.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. But I'd like to kind of go into what my brother's currently doing and go into wildlife management and conservation. And I would also like to join the National Guard on top of that.
You're talking about a load, aren't you? That's good, though.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, kind of unlike Grant, I'm not real sure on what school I want to go to. I know I want to attend a university of some sort, whether it's Mizzou or K-State, but I know I want to go to a university and kind of bachelor and major in agriculture, of course. I've looked at ag economics and business, all sorts of things, and just become an advocate and a leader for this industry.
I'm glad you used that word advocate, because that's one thing that I've charged some of the groups with today is I think your education in agriculture and and FFA, even though you may or may not enter a specific, what we would call an agricultural career, which obviously, Ray, you're planning to, but others of you may not, and other students we've had through. I know there's been some that are intending to enter the nursing field. But I've made the comment, your experiences in ag education and FFA, I hope you take that to be an advocate for agriculture. I don't think people realize, in fact, I'll just ask you all, out of 100 people in this country, how many of them are farmers?
Like 0.01.
You're pretty close. I think it might be 0.03, but anyway, it's down there really, really low today, and that number just continues to move down. So even if you're not a farmer, being an advocate for agriculture, making sure folks that understand or don't understand agriculture, the Hovey kids that have been here today, Reuben and
Beatrice.
B, both, they didn't have that background that you guys have in agriculture out here during your formative years, and so they're examples of those that will need some influence from other people as they go along. Now those two, they're gaining that influence as they go through agriculture, that experience, and that's so vital that we have a voice out there for agriculture. You guys went to the Young Farmer thing, and I know that's one thing stressed by Missouri Young Farmers and Farm Bureau Young Farmers is being an advocate for agricultural education. I've talked too long on that one. I'm sorry about that, but it's something that's pretty near to my heart, and I think in the other future plans. I think we've over here to, Gunner.
Right now, I've kind of the same boat as like Raymond. I don't really know where I want to go to school at. I know I want to go to a university. Like I said earlier, I've been working in a pharmacy for close to a year now, so that's definitely a goal in mind, is try to be a pharmacist, but I don't know where that'll be accomplished at.
And you say that, and that again ties into what I just was talking about in the advocacy, because let's say you wind up in the St. Louis area working in a pharmacy, either as a pharmacist or as a tech. Your background and knowledge in agriculture is going to be valuable and vital to help people around you understand. Somebody says something negative about agriculture. A lot of people think in agriculture we're attempting to kill them with chemicals we spray, antibiotics we overdose our animals with. We're tearing up the soil, wearing it out, on and on about negatives, and that's not what we're doing in agriculture. That's maybe a very small portion, and we've got some folks that don't understand how agriculture works promoting misinformation. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, anybody else future plans we haven't at Casey? Okay.
I'm not really sure what I want to do after school. I just know I want to keep agricultural in it.
Okay. And you'll find that. Sometimes it takes a little while. Told one of the groups I went to college for 2 years before I had any direction really. I was in general agriculture, which basically I was taking ag classes and my basic classes and just kind of floating along. Fortunately, I got acquainted with some guys that said, you ought to be in ag education, and made that change. And I guess it was the right one since I spent, long time teaching here and had the pleasure of having many students in my classes and getting to work with some tremendous fellow teachers like Mrs. Johnson and teachers before her that I worked with. Did we leave anybody out on that?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either. As you think back about your experiences in ag and FFA, and I don't think I've asked you about this, some of you have alluded to it and maybe even said it, but what's been benefits to you in ag education? What do you feel like have been the biggest benefits?
The relationships that have been formed between all the trips that we've went on and visited with other schools, all the other people that we've met throughout CDEs or just barn warmings or national convention. You meet so many like-minded individuals who have the same goals as you, and it really ties together.
Yet they're from someplace else and have a different viewpoint on this or that, but it's still, you start to make some additional acquaintances and do some networking. Okay? What else benefits others of you?
Definitely one of the benefits is got to be all the public speaking that you have to do when it comes to like staying your creed, doing your reasons for a CDE. That's really helpful in the long run, especially if you're in an industry where you need to talk to people and get your point across and to help them or yourself in a situation.
And you bring that up, and I maybe shouldn't say it this way, but communication today many times is lacking. The verbal, oral communication like we're doing right here. I don't think anybody took out their cell phone coming over here and communicated from the front seat to the back seat, and I know we've seen that, all of us have. But anyway, that communication skills, very good. Good point. Anyone else?
I think some benefits I've got is last year I was a part of a fall speaking event, and I went to state for that, and it taught me a little bit of discipline because there was a time there where there was a big time where I didn't have to do anything. From district to state, there was a long time there.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to be disciplined and stay up on memorizing that speech and, teaching myself inflection and my, hand gestures and all that.
Right.
I had to keep up on that.
That's a good point. Yeah, self-discipline. That's part of it, learning it and then developing it as you go along. All right, anything else?
I guess meeting new people that are in other aspects of agricultural and the bonds we form with people and getting to become friends with your advisors and other students and speaking in front of others.
Lots of benefits, lots of benefits. Guys, you've done an excellent job. We're down to where I probably need to wind this down because I know you want to be back in time for that 7th hour class. Something about assembly this afternoon. I heard that on the way over, so I don't know when that is, but maybe we'll get you there for it. I'm going to ask Ray if he would one more time go through this short list of some of the sponsors that have made FFA Day on KSMO possible.
Roberts Judson Lumber Company, District 1 Commissioner Wes Kendra Mowbray and family, District 2 Commissioner Gary and Denise Polk, Presiding Commissioner Gary Larson and Shirley, State Representative Ron Copeland and family, Daryl and Maureen Skiles, The Rusty Pig, Flying W Bouquet, Looking Glass Salon.
Okay, very
you.
good. And with that, we thank you to these 5 young men. They've done an excellent job on this segment of FFA Day on KSMO, and I'll send it back to Krista.